Hey, and welcome to Excel with Eric. Today we're going to tackle that big boogeyman of Excel, and that is pivot tables. A lot of people know that pivot tables exist in Excel, and they know you can do great things, but most people don't know exactly what it is that you can do with them. The good news is it's real simple to use. They aren't that complicated, and once you kind of see some tips and tricks about how to use them, you'll be able to jump in there and use them without any problems. So let's take a look. Alright, so here we have our data. So you can see here it's the quarter that the sales, these are all sales data, quarter that it happened, who did the selling, where in the region they sold, the product that they sold, how much dollars worth they sold, and then their rating. So this is the data that we're going to use on our pivot table. Now the key to a pivot table is to think visually. What it allows you to do is slice and dice your data in whatever order or manner you want to look at it, and you can change it at a moment's notice. It's not like a spreadsheet with formulas that you have to recalculate. So let's look at what we need to do. First things first, you click on the Insert tab, and you'll notice Pivot Table is the very first button. You click on that. It says, where is this data that I'm going to be making a pivot table out of? And it's going to assume wherever your cursor was. And then where do you want me to put it? I can put it in a new worksheet or an existing one. If it's going into an existing one, then you just specify the location there. We'll choose new for this example. And we'll choose OK. And here we are, brand new blank sheet. And it says, what is it that you want to do? Again, the key is to think visually. The first thing you want to do is take the values, the numbers that you want to do your calculations on. So in our case, sales. And you want to drag it into this values section. So I'm going to take sales and drag it into the values section. And now I see the total sales of everybody over 4 quarters, all regions, all products, is this 89,039. Now you want to think, well, what do I want to see across the top? So maybe I want to see the quarter across the top. So here's the quarter. I'm going to click it and I'm going to drag it onto column labels. Now I can see my sales broken down by quarter. Alright, now what do I want to see on the left side? Well, let's say maybe product. So I'm going to take product and I'm going to drag it down to row labels and release. And now I can see, alright, grenades, all the sales of grenades were in quarter 4. Here's pulse rifles, sentry guns, and smart guns. Now, in this particular case, the product data may not have been the best way to slice and dice it, since we apparently only sold each product in a single quarter. So maybe I don't want to see product after all. Well, you can go down here and you can just click and drag it back up to this area. And you'll notice the little X on your cursor tells you you're removing it from the pivot table. Release the mouse button and it goes away. So instead of product, maybe I want to see name. I want to see who sold. So I'll drag it back down to row labels and release, and here's my totals. So Apone sold this much in quarter 1, quarter 2, had a bad quarter 3, and a reasonable quarter 4. And then Vasquez, you can see she had a good quarter 2 and a good quarter 4. Well, it's also possible that I don't want to see quarters on the top. Maybe I want to see them on the side. So I can click and drag the quarters down here to row labels, drag the names to column labels, and now I've got the same data, but it's been transposed. Okay? And that's why I say you want to think visually. You're literally dragging and dropping what you want to see where. Maybe within the names of the salespeople, you also want to see the product breakdown. So you can grab onto product and click here in column labels. And now we can see here's Apone's grenade sales, pulse rifle sales, sentry gun, and smart gun. And then here's his total. And same for Hicks and Ripley and all the others. You'll notice a little minus sign here. You can click on that to compress it down to where it only shows the total. But again, you can have multiple things within here. Maybe instead of maybe instead of product and name, you want quarter and product. You just grab product and move it down here, and now we have it broken down into quarters. Again, each product only sold in a single quarter, so it's only going to appear once. I don't like it, I can drag it off. Now, the last thing is this report filter section here. So by default, it's going to show me everything. But it could be that I just want to see a particular product or pick the products I want to see. So I'll click on product, or let's do area. Area might be even more interesting. So I'll take area and I'll drag it down to report filter. And up here at the top, it's telling me I see all 4 areas. Now if I click on the drop down box here, I can choose just the north and OK. And now I only see the sales that happened in the north. Only first 2 quarters, only Hicks and Vasquez made sales. Click on the button again. I could choose West and OK, and see those, Apone and Ripley, Q3 and Q4. So again, I can filter it however I want. If you wanted to see multiple items, you can check this Select Multiple Items button, and then you just check the boxes that you want to see, North and West. Choose OK, and there's my totals for North and West. I want everything back, I just check all, choose OK, and now we're back to no filter. Now the last thing we'll talk about in the pivot table are the numbers themselves. By default, it totals it up. You can see it says sum of sales. But it doesn't have to total. You can do other mathematical options. You just click on here, and notice this last thing says value field settings. You can click on that, and here you go. Maybe instead of the sum, I want to see the average. Choose OK. Now I can see average sales over a quarter. Or maybe instead of the average, I want to see the max. I want to see the high sales. So here we go. We can see all the different high sales for the different people over the different quarters. You just need to click on the values and pick whichever particular function that you want to use. So the only thing to really keep in mind here is, generally speaking, you want to pull your values, your numbers, into this values section. You can do max and min on non-numeric items, but for the most part, the pivot table is designed for numeric items. And then it's just a matter of grabbing whatever it is you want to see and dropping it into your particular field. Drag and drop until you see exactly how you want your data to appear. It's really good for presentations and things, because if people have questions, you can just drag and drop and answer the data in a particularly different manner, or view the data in a different manner. But that's all there is to pivot tables. So that's all there is to pivot tables. Remember, the key again is to think visually. Just drag whatever it is that you want to see and where you want to see it. And if you don't like the way it looks, just move it around. It's important to note that Excel also has pivot charts. Pivot charts work exactly the same way as a pivot table. The only difference, of course, is that it's a chart instead of a table. So that's it. I hope we've demystified pivot tables for you. Take a look at some of the other Excel with Erik videos at my website listed below here. And otherwise, happy excelling. Thanks.